You were tuned in to episode 105. Yes, episode 105 of the Goodfellas podcast. It's your boy G5 Jeff TV, aka G5, aka 5, aka the Guru, in the building. Before I even get started, man, big shout out to Jaguar in the building in here early. Big shout out to Jaguar. Salute to you. Got my man VP Shane in the building. VP, what's going on? I said a mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. And he's off. But VP Shane to be in here in just a moment, man. Big shout out to Boxing First Vlog, aka the General, aka Blunt, aka Blunt Bayless, aka Mr. 1K. He might be in here, he might not, but we gonna rock out how we rock out as always. But big shout out to everybody. Big shout out to Brennan Smith. Big shout out to Brennan Smith. Can I get a mic check 1 2 1 2 from my main man Shane? Shane,
I can't hear you. I can't hear you. 1 second.
Shane can't hear me. Hey, Jaguar and Brennan, put a 1 in the comment section if you can hear me. I'll make sure it's not me. Put a 1 in the comment section if it's if you can hear me. But big shout out to everybody, man. Welcome to G5 Jeff TV. Welcome to the Goodfellas podcast, man. We on episode 105, and we got a lot to talk about today. Got a lot to talk about. Now, for the hardcores, this was an issue that this was an issue that was already there, but it's real hot right now. You know what I'm saying? And we definitely gonna get into it. Brennan Smith, appreciate that. He said, I'm looking forward to this weekend's fight. Now we have a local card in Philly that's a pretty good card, man. Definitely looking forward to that one. Boxing is just on a nice streak right now, man. Like I like what's going on in the sport of boxing. It's a lot of good matchups that's happened. We getting a lot of unifications, and we can't ask for anything more than that. You know what I'm saying? Can't ask for anything more than that. Now, we're gonna try Shane again. Mic check, mic check.
Speak.
Mic check, mic check.
Can hear you now.
Cool. For the people that don't know, that's VP Shane, man. What's going on, good brother?
I'm good. What's up?
Hey, man, we just got on here, man. Just chopping it up.
Yeah, you went on without me. You just said you're in and you started to live.
No, I had it set for 5:50, so I was literally like on the countdown. So I ain't mean for it to go down like that. But Brendan, I'm pretty sure you're probably talking about Akhmed Delayev and Rios. That's probably the fight that you're talking about this weekend. Really good fight, man. I think Akhmed Delayev is gonna win the fight, but Rios a dog, man.
Yeah.
Rios a dog, man. Definitely a dog. I think Raymond Ford's on that card.
And somebody else is on that card as well. He's main event.
That is the main event.
No, bro. There's another. Maybe it's main event, but there's another. The co-main event is real good as well. It's another lower weight fight.
Oh, Rungvisai.
Rungvisai.
Yeah. Rungvisai. Yeah.
Rungvisai versus who's he fighting?
Franco.
Joshua Franco.
Rodriguez. Yeah. Yeah, he said Rungvisai. I hope he wins this weekend. That's a good fight, man. That's a good fight. That's a good card.
Franco's coming off a good win as well, if I can remember correctly.
Yeah. Jeff Spark of Divinity of NY. G5 Jeff TV. Salute. Peace. Salute to you. Andre Southgate. Salute all here listening. Big shout out to you, Andre Southgate, as usual.
That isn't a bot, but it's very unique, so I respect it.
Yeah, I respect it. Say hit the like button, people. Hey, I like how you talking. Hit that like button. Bruce, what's going on, bro? He said, peace, my brothers, man. Big shout out to you, man. I I was unable to catch it live. I'm gonna catch it tonight. The interview you did with Tim Witherspoon, man, I'm real interested in hearing what Tim Witherspoon had to say and kind of how you approached that interview. So I'm definitely going to check that out tonight. I have off tonight, so I'm definitely going to catch up on a few things. So looking forward to that. If you're not subscribed to Bruce Gas channel, definitely go check that out. Big shout out to Drew Titan too. Actually, tuned into his live. That's a wild dude, man. Like that's a wild
Yeah, I
dude.
mean, I know.
His energy
I
is
heard you
his
speaking about
energy
him,
is yeah.
but
His energy is
I've never
crazy.
watched him. I don't. I've never really watched him.
His energy is like he's like he's like blunt but amped up. Like energy wise, like he's blunt but amped up. Like it's
Good.
that energy is crazy.
I can
Energy is
assume he's
crazy.
got a good following as well.
Oh yeah, his following is I don't know how many subs he has, but his live had like over 250 in there. So and they say that's a regular for him. So I was like, man, that's what's up. You know what I mean? Bruce Gas said we had a blast with Tim. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to listening to that, man. I'm really looking forward to it. You know, that's definitely a good look. But the hot topic right now, and I actually want to dig into it a little deeper than what the actual news is. Um, basically, Tyson's Fury dad came out. Tyson Fury dad basically came out and said, like, yo, we're banned from going into the United States. Like, we can't travel to the United States because of the affiliation with Kinahan. And it was something we spoke about before, Shane, and we really didn't get like deep into it because it was like that we didn't want to kind of climb into that hole because I know what we were thinking, like, yo, we didn't want to get into like politics and like all this other stuff and we're not talking boxing.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess in a sense, I guess we kind of have to address this because where does the train stop at in terms of who can come to the States and who can't? Because
I mean
there's how you feel?
that's a real good place to start. That's a real good place to start because I mean I'm sure I was hearing that Jake Paul was supposed to be fighting Tommy Fury.
Mm-hmm,
I
mm-hmm.
mean, where's that
Yeah,
fight going to take place? I mean, if Tyson Fury can't go in, I'm assuming Tommy can't go in. You know,
yeah.
so that's another thing. And then you also got to look at the fact that anyone who's ever signed to MTK Global has some form of affiliation with uh Daniel Kinnan. So I'm just again, where does the line get drawn? Are we gonna stop coaches? I mean, I know Frank Warren has had fighters who signed with MTK Global. I know Eddie Hearn has had fighters signed with MTK Global. I know, you know, I mean, Bob Arum has personally paid paychecks to, and ESPN has personally paid paychecks to Daniel Kinnan. So where are we drawing the line? Are we kicking people out of the country as well?
I mean,
I
are
really
we?
don't know. I
Are
mean, it's real murky, man. It's
yeah.
real
I
murky.
actually want to bring up a I actually want to read this article that I seen. Um, let's see. And it's from Sun World. It says Tyson Fury.
Sunday
Oh,
World.
Sunday World. I'm sorry. Sunday World. I'm sorry. And it says Tyson Fury's dad admits he and Tyson are banned from U.S. due to Kinahan crackdown.
Well, I mean, Tyson Fury. This funny. Tyson Fury's dad said that because Tyson Fury was banned. Tyson Fury's dad was banned from America before the Daniel Kinahan stuff came up. Because if you
Yeah,
guys remember, he wasn't there for all three of the Wilder fights because
correct.
he had a prior drug and illegal criminal convictions, which I don't need to go into. Him and Peter Fury, his brothers, have a historical criminal background, which is well documented on Google you can type in. It's very easy to find.
Yeah,
So neither of them could enter America before the whole Daniel Kinahan stuff.
yeah,
But again, where do you draw the line? I mean,
yeah,
where do you draw the line?
yeah. So let's actually read this. John said we can't travel. Tommy hasn't got a team. His team members are not allowed in America at the present point of time. So Madison Square Garden mate ain't accessible for us, is it? Then it says this article's by Adele Hughes. Tyson Fury's father, John, has revealed he and other members of Tyson's boxing star brother Tommy's team are banned from entering the U.S. due to Tyson's links to mob boss Daniel Kinahan. In a video posted online addressing YouTube return boxer Jake Paul, John said, "We can't travel."
You know what I think's happening here. Sorry to cut you off, Jim.
Mhm.
You know what I think's happening here. I feel like this is just, when you miss the ball on something, you tend to overcompensate in your cover up. Because to me, the whole entire American market, they allowed this man's company to come into boxing and have a massive involvement with fighters and promotions and TV companies. If you had done your due diligence in the first place, we wouldn't be in this position, because me and Jeff knows, and if you've been following boxing long enough, you would know that Daniel Kinahan's ties has been in boxing for a while, and his background is well documented. So if the American market, however you want to look at it, whether it's ESPN, whether it's the Top Rank, whether it's any investigation company that's allowed this man's business to exist in America, if they had done their due diligence in the first place, this wouldn't even have happened.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to that in a second. Let me get through the rest of this. I definitely want to touch on that. Um, Jake Paul and Tommy were due to spar last December, but Tommy was forced to pull out due to injury. Jake took to Twitter today to demand Tommy fight him on August 6th in Madison Square Garden. Tommy Fury, you pulled out last year. He wrote, "Then you agree to fight me now, but your dad is trying to pull you out again. We've given you everything you asked for: 2 million purse, VADA testing, tampons. You have 24 hours to clear this up, or I will never give you this opportunity again." Responding, John Fury said, "We want this fight with you, Jake, because we know we can beat you, mate." John then offers to take less money to hold the fight in any other country. "If you want this fight, my friend, you've got it, but we can't take it in America. But we will negotiate less money to fight elsewhere in the world. Yeah, you can have it on the 6th of August, but it's got to be not in America because all us, I'll be honest with you, are suspended and banned for life. I can't get to you at all. Tyson can't get to you because he's got a few issues at the moment. So Tommy's got no team." Finish this up. Tyson Fury was refused entry to the U.S. for the first time last Friday after he booked a flight from the U.K. In a huge blow to his fighting career, he was informed he would not be granted entry stateside as he attempted to distance himself from the mob boss. Despite posting social media pictures of himself in Miami in recent days, Fury has not entered the U.S. since his former fight fixer Daniel Kinahan was sanctioned by the U.S. Treasury in April. Over 600 people, including the world heavyweight champion, are banned from entering the U.S. at present because of their direct association with drug boss Daniel Kinahan. Now, the key in that article for me, it said over 600 people. That is a lot of people.
Facts. Facts.
That is a lot of people. And
But what I want to know is, why is this so? Why are the US, and I wish YSM was here, and hopefully YSM gets on the live at some point. I hope he can come on, because why are the US government taking this isolated incident so personal?
I don't let's get through the comments first. I actually want to touch on the last two things you said. Jeff Spark said Drew Titan LLC shouted you out. Yeah. Nah. Big shout out to Drew Titan, man. Like his, like I'm gonna keep it real. Like that might have been like I've heard about Drew Titan and I've seen like videos. That was like my first time actually like watching this live, and he is,
Personally, I hadn't heard about him until
yeah,
someone put him in the comment section.
he's his energy is turned all the way up, man. All the way up, man. Big shout out to him. Andre Southgate, salute Bruce. We'll check it out for sure. Brennan, the PBC needs to get Isaac Pitbull Cruz a fight. I mean, he's been pretty busy. He's been
Didn't he
real
just
busy.
fight Gamboa?
Yeah, he's been real busy, bro. And he just fought Tank. Like he's been hella busy. They've been doing right by him, to be honest with you. Brennan, if Fury don't fight the winner, AJ or Usyk, I don't care about him, and I'm a big fan of Fury. I'll get into that in a minute. Bruce, salute, and Andre Southgate. My son, Chris G in the building said USA wants their cut. Laughing. Nothing about being ethical, Andre. It's not a good look for sure. There was always something with Fury. All right, so let me get into this. So, I'm gonna give people a little insight on how the U.S. operates in terms of the government, criminal activity, things like that. So, usually the U.S. will allow, and I'm this is generally speaking, and you can validate this through I don't care if you watch any crime TV show, movie, however the case may be, it's all the same. When they know they're dealing with a crime boss of this level, a lot of the times they're not going to say anything. And what they're doing is they're just sitting back. Okay, you did that. All right, cool. You did that. All right, cool. Okay, we're going to wiretap you over here. We got that. And they will wait years. They will wait years until they have everything they need. And then they're going to pull out all the stops and drop the hammer down. So all this means to me is they have everything they need and they about to drop the hammer down. He's no different than any other famous crime boss that has taken the fall. No different. It's just in the boxing realm. But we've seen this in TV shows. We've seen it in movies. We've seen it in classics. Like this is typical. This is how the crime syndicate ends. Like none of them end with them on the beach with a margarita. Like it just don't. You understand what I'm saying? Like it doesn't. So that's what it is for me.
This is my confusion. Because is there a warrant for Daniel Kinahan's arrest?
No, there's not. So it's so here's the thing. So to get a dude like that, and again, this is generally speaking, I'm not trying to act like I'm some lawyer here, but the first thing that a government does when they're trying to track down somebody is they try to cut their lifeline in terms of funds. They try to cut it. They try to cut it as much as possible. Next best thing is going to be the travel. So if you cut the travel, then you cut everybody that he's affiliated with, their travel as well. Is they're putting the squeeze on him. They basically putting the squeeze on him, and that's what it is at the end of the day. But again, I have to echo your question. Where do you stop? There's over 600 people. I would love to see what 600 people.
I mean, I would literally love to see the 600 people that are.
Are any of them US?
I mean, these are the key questions that I don't know. But again, I'm just like, to me, when it comes to Daniel Kinahan, I'm not aware that he's like that. I don't know if they want to arrest him, lock him up, but I'm not aware of any laws because Daniel Kinahan hasn't been in America for years, from what I know, from what I've been told. So I'm not aware of any of his of any laws that he's broken in America per se. I know this dude is he's supposed to be a cartel boss or whatever, and or mob boss or however you want to paint the picture. But I'm just wondering why America's taking it so personal. That's what I don't understand.
I don't think it's I don't think it's personal. I
It
don't
seems that way because I
yeah,
haven't seen any country take this amount of measures to stop someone who hasn't had any effect in their country.
yeah, I so I when he first started dealing with Top Rank and started dealing with ESPN and all of that, and I was like, this is before anything happened. I was like, this is the worst thing this is the worst approach he could take. I said it's the worst approach that he can take because I'm like, you're putting yourself on center stage for everyone to see. And then it's not just as ESPN, is who owns ESPN is Disney. Disney is probably one of the top 10 companies in the world. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no matter what country you're in, you know what I'm saying? So, him putting himself in the middle of all that, it just brought a big spotlight um to his name, to everything that's around him. So I don't think it's personal. I just think it's something. I think it's something government wise. Like he's been put on their radar for a reason. I don't know what the reason is. Now, Shane, that part might be personal. I don't know.
I mean, I have a theory. I mean, my theory is very basic in a sense that Bob Arum, who's a American lawyer, you know, he is associated with ESPN,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess they've taken it personal in the sense that, as you said, Disney by default because they own ESPN have been
Mm-hmm.
funding a cartel boss, have been funding a known criminal. I don't want to say he's a criminal, but that's the narrative. An
Alleged.
alleged criminal, sorry, not a known criminal. They've been funding an alleged criminal. And I feel like a company with that level of reputation refuse to be associated with someone like that. So if I've been associated with someone like that, the only way I can detach myself and almost correct my wrong, right my wrong, is hang this dude out to dry. So let me give you an example. In the eyes of the law, if me and you been being on the streets doing all forms of illegal activity, bro, we could be selling narcotics, we could be prostituting females, whatever we're doing, killing people, whatever we're doing. The best way for me to um detach myself from Jeff and distance myself from Jeff is let this dude go out there and hang to dry, which means that might mean snitching on this dude, that might mean turning my back on him, that might mean giving up information, whatever it takes just to detach myself from this individual to prove that there is no tie between us. I'm just going to throw this dude under the bus. And it could be a case of because ESPN, because Top Rank, because Disney, because all of these companies who he's been in cahoots with has been done business with him, they've now decided to throw him under the bus and detach themselves from him. That could be the case.
Well, the thing with that is, I and it still goes back to where do you stop it? Like, where do you stop it? Like, so just ride with me on this one. So throughout the history of boxing, we all know boxing is far from a clean sport. I mean, you could triple rinse it and it wouldn't be clean. You know what I mean? Put it through the dry cleaners, it's still not going to be clean. And all of the, without mentioning names, of course, like all of the big boys have those ties. Let's just keep it a bean. All of those people that are big in the game has those type of ties in some way, shape, or form. And all of these big companies are affiliated. It's just for some reason that man, that name that movement has been put on the front of their desk. And that's really the difference. But we've had sketchy people. We had sketchy people in the 2000s. We had sketchy people in the 90s, the 80s, the 70s, the 60s, the 50s, 40s. It's been like that from the jump. People got to realize Mike Tyson manager was Donald Trump. Like,
But that's not even
let,
that.
let,
That's not
let that,
even that.
but you
That's
know
not
what
even
is,
that bad though,
but you know what
because
his
Donald Trump
affiliation
is
is, though.
at least he's an uh
But
a
you know what is,
law-abiding citizen, I
yeah, but
assume.
that's but you know his affiliate. You know who his affiliation is with?
No,
The Russians.
I mean this dude was the prime minister of or president of America, so I mean,
That's what I'm saying. Like it comes down to the reason I'm saying is it's I'm not gonna say it's personal. I'm gonna say it's top priority, and the government chooses what is top priority for them and what's not. And there's a lot of things that's worth being top priority, but they
so
only choose certain ones.
do you think, Jeff, that Daniel Kinahan moving to America and starting his operation in America was down to lack of due diligence from the American government, or just biding their time and waiting to collect data?
Yeah, they whenever you're dealing with somebody big like that, they're collecting data. They are collecting data. Like it's just it is what it is. Like first of all, he's not a U.S. guy, so it takes more homework with a guy like that. Allegedly, you know what I'm saying? So you got to factor that in, and they get years worth of data, like years worth.
And
So
you know the funniest thing, Jeff? You don't
mhm.
know the funniest thing? Right now, Tyson Fury is trying to detach himself away from Daniel Kinahan. But the funniest thing is, if Tyson Fury had detached himself from Daniel Kinahan in the first place, Daniel Kinahan would have probably been still less known. You know, once Tyson Fury became who he is now, all of a sudden the investigations in this dude's background has started to be, it
you
started
got
to become hot
you got
topic.
you got to think about it. So he links up with Fury, and all of this is putting one and two together. Um, the um, the documentary comes out of Daniel Kinahan and his team, right? So that came out after he linked up with Tyson Fury. Um, now
Now
the
he's been with
government.
Tyson Fury. He's been with Tyson Fury for probably since
Well,
early in his professional career.
let me rephrase it then. When Tyson Fury reached the pinnacle of his name being out there, with
Mhm.
also known as Deontay Wilder, once that came about, the documentary comes out. Then his name is in the limelight. Then Bob Arum is getting asked about him. Eddie Hearn is getting asked about him. Um, all of these people are getting asked about him. And then you got fighters coming out. They're making statements. He's representing fighters for free. You know what I mean? He's representing fighters for free. And he's coming in. He's getting all of these fighters. And I'm not gonna mention any names, but y'all know he has over 200 fighters. MTK Global has over 200 fighters. And the thing about it is, all of that sounds good in terms of your company, but where I'm from and how I grew up, like you don't do dirt and then go live afterwards. Like if you're going to do dirt, you gotta lay low.
I, I,
You don't go out in
I,
the middle of a parade. Like, and
I
that's
guess
essentially what he did.
I guess this is
Essentially.
a naive part of me, but this is the thing. He MTK Global, and this is the thing that they were trying to do, because I've known about Daniel Kinahan for years. Like I
Mm-hmm.
told that Jeff about Daniel Kinahan. This is way before the documentary.
Yeah.
This is early, early, early. Like I knew about Daniel Kinahan purely and simply because I knew about MTK Global and the foundations of MTK Global and how it started and the situation with Matthew Macklin and not needing to go down that road. And I definitely assume Matthew Macklin has to be banned from America, because
Absolutely.
him and Daniel Kinahan was the one who started MTK Global. But I understand the history of it. But if so, I don't want to do this to the people that's watching. I'll give you guys a quick history lesson of British boxing. We went through a drought where, because Sky, who was the biggest money pusher at that time, they put the most money in boxing, because they had stopped doing pay-per-views and money, and there wasn't really the marquee names. And the dudes who were marquee names, like the Ricky Hattons and the Amir Khans, they had gone abroad to fight. There wasn't a lot of money being generated in the British market. So you needed someone with upfront ready cash to put on fights, to pay for these fights, to put this money up, and I mean, you know what that means by me saying that. You need someone who's got money and they can put money up front.
Right.
For me, once and I think Daniel Kinahan was banned from the UK, or he was under investigation. He tried to detach himself away from MTK Global on a public surface level, And I know MTK Global have said that Daniel Kinahan hasn't run their operation in 4 years or 5 years, however many years it may be, on a public level. And legally, I know he had signed it over to somebody else and stuff like that. But there's a saying in anything, which is follow the money. Follow the money. And because the foundation of your company is built on questionable funds, now everything else after that point now has to come into question. But the problem that I have in this situation is the fact that I would say Daniel Kinahan has tried his best to stay out of the public eye. Personally, I would say that, because he signed over his company to somebody else. He's not done any public interviews. He literally lives in a country by himself. When I mean by himself, like he doesn't put on shows where he lives. Like you don't see interviews from this dude. None of that. He has no public output or outcry. No connection with the public. He's tried to keep himself out of the public eye as much as possible. However, when you're dealing with the game of promotion and boxing promoting and management, that's an oxymoron. I know Al Heyman's doing a great job promoting whilst being hidden and almost hiding in plain sight. But with you, it's impossible, because you trespassed. You went into the American market, and that's where the problem was. I guarantee you, if MTK Global stayed in the UK, they would not be in this problem right now.
You know what? I'm glad you explained that, because I'm gonna throw a question your way. We've never seen Al Heyman really, never really interviewed, doesn't do media stuff. He's not in the cameras. He's not in the limelight. He's about as out of sight, out of mind as you can get. We can honestly say he's probably one of the top 5 names that's talked about in the sport.
Facts.
Even with that being the case.
Facts.
So sometimes you can do everything humanly possible to stay out of the way, but sometimes that works against you, because people don't know about you, they're going to start digging to find out about you, which is
Why?
going to actually
Why are
be
you
more
not in the
essential.
public eye?
Why
Why?
are you not
Why
exactly?
did you decide to make this conscious decision to detach yourself away from the public media and away from the public eye? There has to be a conscious reason for that. And the moment they start asking those questions, why is Daniel Kinahan, the person who everybody says is responsible for Tyson Fury's career, and everybody else who's at MTK Global, never in the public eye? Once they start doing just about that much of investigating, they could start seeing that it's more than questionable.
Yeah, it's having an adverse effect on what his real intention was,
Yeah,
because him signing over stuff and all that. I mean, that's that allegedly. That's gangster 101. I mean, you're trying to clean up, trying to you become a silent partner. Like we get it. Like we understand. Like we get it.
Yeah,
But
I know that. We know that. We know
yeah,
that.
we know
We know
that.
that.
That's cool. But at the end of the day, for some reason, his name is on the front of the government's desk, and usually, if your name is in front of the government's desk, they usually get their guy. They usually get their guy. So
How do you think this is gonna end?
I don't know, bro. I don't know, man. I'm more fascinated with what's the ramifications of the fighters that was underneath them. Are they a part of the 600? Are they going to be
I
restricted in
mean,
some way, shape, or
you
form?
have
Like
to
what?
you have to ask that question because if
You
Tyson
have
Fury
to.
is being banned and he was a fighter of Daniel Kinahan, why isn't everybody else being banned? But at the same time, could that be because of his public endorsement of Daniel Kinahan? Could that be the reason? I mean, I would be surprised. I mean, someone like Spencer Fearon, I'll assume he's on that list. I'll
Yeah,
assume.
gotta be. Gotta be.
Uh, I remember hearing someone say Kugan Cassius is banned from America, and
Coogan is
it
probably
would
on that
make
list.
sense because I haven't seen him do any IFL TV interviews in America. He done the IFL he sends people over, but he personally isn't there.
He doesn't come over right.
So I
I
assume he's one. I mean, another person who I've been told, but I don't know, and I've been told by a good source that Ben Davison is another one who's banned from America. And why I say I've been told by good sources because I know Ben Davison wasn't in the Devin Haney camp, even when they were training in America. So that's another thing. But I mean,
Yeah, bro, and you know what? And this is me being strictly a conspiracy theorist. Strictly a conspiracy theorist. A lot of people are talking about why Spence and Crawford is not done. A lot of people are talking about Spence and Crawford's not
I
done.
don't think that's the reason.
I don't know, bro. I
I,
don't know.
I'll
Nah,
keep
you
it.
got to think about. Actually, you know what, bro? You can think about
Don't
it this way. Think
go
about it
ahead,
this
Jeff.
way. Think about it this way, bro. You and I know the connection, right? We ain't gonna really get into detail, but he's had his hands in that situation, right? Um, the fight should have been done by now, right? The fight should have been done. So if we're following the money, we're following the trail. You got to think what fighters under MTK has actually had action over the past 2 months.
Let's look at a big name. Obviously, Jamel Herring. He was on the MTK Global.
Correct.
Um, Tyson Fury hasn't. Billy Joe Saunders hasn't. I mean, the ones who have, they've had it outside of America. I mean, to build off that, Jeff, because you brought up a good point. Now you make me question that statement. With when it comes to the America, because that's a hard question to answer. That is a difficult question to answer.
But it makes you wonder though.
100%. It 100% does. Because I'm gonna start asking you this question. Look how much fights Top Rank are deciding to do abroad. They're willing to send Beterbiev abroad. They sent Inoue abroad. They sent Josh Taylor abroad. I mean, a lot of you gotta ask questions of why. I mean, obviously they're American fighters. They're gonna keep in America, but I'm just wondering why there's just such a willingness. I mean, willingness just to send their fighters abroad.
I'm a double back, and I'm a follow that up with another follow up. Um, Bob Arum had a chance to go to the UK recently. He decided not to go.
When?
He was in Australia, correct?
Okay.
He was in Australia, but there was there was a fight in the UK. Um, he's it's been about maybe about 2-3 times over the past couple of months.
I,
Somebody on top rank.
I'm pretty sure you're right. I'm pretty sure you're
I
right.
just the
I
name
just
is
can't
slipping
think
me
of
right
the
now.
dome.
Yeah,
I
the
mean, I'm
name's
pretty sure
slipping me
you're
right
right.
now. I was thinking about it. I was thinking about it earlier today, and I'm like, Bob Arum hasn't touched foot in the UK in a while. If you think about it,
Probably since the Fury fight.
yeah, he hasn't been there. Yeah, he hasn't been there since the Fury fight. He has not been in the UK at
And
all.
since the Fury fight, Fury ain't been in America.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Like it's just it goes back to, and we're not trying to sound like investigators or anything like that. What we're trying to do is how far are they going with the ban? Like, is U.S. fighters involved? Um, I mean, what if a U.S. fighter wanted to travel from Texas to Florida? Are they
I mean,
banned? Like, you know what I mean?
again, I feel like it's more about the public endorsement of him. But then Bob Arum should be in. Bob Arum has taken pictures with this dude. This dude has said he has no legal ties with him, but he's paid this dude.
Right. And I think
So
everyone is paid. Everyone is paid this dude to a certain extent. Everyone is paid him to a certain extent. Like I like it's so many
another
American
thing is
fighters.
what benefits? Because he's a manager. He was a manager and he managed fighters' careers. But I'm just really wondering what benefits a lot of these fighters were getting, because that might answer the question. What benefits
Well,
were they getting being signed to MTK Global? Because
I can answer that. I could definitely answer that.
go ahead,
Like,
but when you answer that, this could then answer why certain fighters may be banned from America and certain fighters aren't.
well, it's the same reason why everybody signs with Al. Is like you want to sign with the guy that has the most power. You want to sign with the guy that has the most pull. You want to sign with the guy that has the most money. That's what it is. Like that's
I
why you
mean,
sign with an MTK Global.
it's crazy because and it's unfortunate for me personally, and I'm talking about on a personal level. MTK Global used to send me to events, send me invites to events all the
So,
time.
bro, so let me follow up on that. Just because the seed in the soil might have been a little tainted, don't mean that the operations wasn't legit when everything grew out of the soil.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? So it wasn't like MTK was a shell company that wasn't operating. Like MTK was an actual company,
Organized.
organized company within the sport of boxing that was putting in a lot of good work.
Box, yeah,
But
good box.
it's no
It's just the
different,
foundation
right?
was.
But it's no different. And I know you don't watch New Jack City. It's no different than Nino Brown being out in the neighborhood passing out turkeys. It's a good gesture. He's helping a lot of people out. But the seed is bad. You understand what I'm
Where did you
saying?
get that money to buy the turkeys?
Exactly. And I forgot who it was. I think it was a rapper. He was just like, he said, I never understood a Thanksgiving turkey drive and the turkeys are not cooked. He was like, if you giving it to homeless people, he said, how are they going to cook it? And it never hit me, yo. It never hit me. And I was like, yo, that is so true, yo. That is
That
so
is so
true.
true.
They was like, yo, like you got it. It has to be cooked. Like it has to be cooked.
I,
Like, you know what I
but you know
mean?
what? You
I
can
was like,
apply that
damn,
you can apply that metaphorically to this boxing situation right
correct,
now.
correct.
As in the the turkey is a physical representation of an opportunity, of a platform, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and a lot of these dudes were given platforms and opportunities in a sense that weren't cooked. When I'm saying it weren't cooked, it wasn't, I mean, the foundations wasn't prepared properly, because you
Right,
see a lot of dudes now out on management contracts. You know, they didn't. It's not like with Al Heyman these dudes still have a certain level of, you know, Devin Haney Promotions. He has his own, even though he's not with Al Heyman, but Lions Only Promotions. You know, Tank Davis Promotions. You know, Mayweather had his own promotional company. Errol Spence's, like, you see what I'm saying? Like, they were able to build something for themselves. You know,
right.
you rarely see anyone with MTK Global. Like, look at Tyson Fury is the biggest boxing star in MTK Global. You don't see him start Tyson Fury's boxing. I mean, AJ started 258 management. You see my point? You don't see Billy Joe Saunders or everybody else who's made hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars working with MTK Global. All of a sudden, I mean, none of them had their own platform, something that they can build for themselves. You see my point? They never had nothing that they can cook for themselves. You see my point? They were just given a platform. And I said that to say this. If you look at MTK Global put on shows in so much different countries. MTK Global was one of the first people to put on shows in those Arab countries. I got multiple media invites. Ask Jeff, to Dubai, Saudi Arabia, all of those places. MTK Global used to invite, used to put on fights all over, and a lot of those fighters who may have lost a fight or who you ain't heard from in a long time. All of a sudden, like they had 3-4 fights, they just put them on over there. Like what's my dude's name who lost to Canelo in 3 rounds? What's that dude's name? The British dude. Rocky Fielding. Rocky Fielding was one of them. I remember Baddy Jack was on one of those cards. What was my dude's name who Jamel Herring beat? Carl Frampton. He was on one of those cards. I think even Herring and Carl Frampton was in Saudi Arabia or Dubai or something like that.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, Shane was getting invites on behalf of G5 Jeff TV.
Yeah, facts.
So that's a fact. Like,
and I've never, I swear, I've never applied for accreditation for MTK. I've never applied.
Global.
Never once.
Never applied. And that's when just, like off camera conversations, like when Shane told me that, I was just like, yo, like that don't happen for no reason. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it could have just been Shane. That was it. You know what I'm saying?
I remember I went to one. I only went to one, which was the Josh Taylor one. I went to the Josh Taylor press conference. And that was another invite only one, and that was on the G5 Jeff TV. But I had been to so many events at that time. I was kind of I didn't want to really go down that road. So going to fights, like ask Jeff, I get invited to go fights. I even get invited to work for other companies to go fights. Like literally, I swear. Even YSM will ask me to go fights. YSM will tell you I really don't have the interest in going to fights like that. I've done it. I went down that road, but it's just one of those things where, like, MTK Global are running a fully fledged working operation. It was working. They had a lot of fighters, and to keep it real, bro, if this didn't happen, there's a high chance they could have taken over some real big fights. Because who's to say that they couldn't work with a Canelo? I mean, they co-worked with Canelo for Billy Joe Saunders.
Yeah, 100%.
They worked with Wilder and Fury. That's a big fight. They could have easily had their hands in the pot of Errol Spence and Terence Crawford.
And I'm probably not supposed to say it, but I'm gonna say it anyways. Hands was in it in a sense. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, the reason why this makes sense is because you gotta understand a lot of ESPN, Top Rank, The Zone, and they don't want to put money in something if they're gonna lose. When you're kingpin, you want to find any way to put your money in so you can clean this. You will put your money in anything. So it's easy for this dude Daniel Kinnan to put in $1 million, 10 million into boxing, because at the end of the day, I need to find a way to clean this money because this money ain't legal.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, it's really about cleaning. Like, boxing in a sense has been a laundromat for a lot of people. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. Whether it's been through illegal gambling or management, promotion, anyway. I get you. Yeah, definitely. I mean, Don King came into this
Don King
Don King came into this illegally, under
Yeah,
that
like
same
it's.
premise.
I don't listen. I don't know anybody that works in boxing that got a 9 to 5, and I'm just gonna leave it there. I just don't. Not in the man. Not in the promoter realm.
Nah,
Promoter
definitely not. Definitely not.
high name manager realm is too dirt. Like I can't be a manager in boxing. I can't.
Yeah, it's too
I
dog eat
can't.
dog. It's too
Yeah,
dirt.
it's too.
What you
I
do
have
for
too much of
fighters.
a heart. I
I
have too
mean,
much of
yeah,
a heart.
it's a nasty sport. But let me paint this picture for you. 1 year, or was it 2 years after coming out of prison, Don King was promoting the Rumble in the Jungle. Now, wrap your head around that. You are 2 years after coming out of prison, you're promoting the biggest fight in boxing history. That is like Jeff coming out of prison today, and in 2 years he's promoting Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford. That is it. You're nobody, and all of a sudden you're promoting the biggest. What? How?
Yeah,
How?
and we know the answer to that. Let
My
me get
point.
in let me get in the comments.
He didn't do it fair and
He
legal.
didn't do it by himself. I'll tell you that much. Brennan Smith said, "Big Tony Accordo is the only one who walked away free." Uh, Andre Southgate, somebody will be held accountable. It's a matter of time. They can't block everybody forever. Uh, the quiet ones are always ones to look out for. The loudest ones in the room is the weakest in the room. That's a
Right.
fact. Burt Wood, I was told biting is illegal. He said a Frank Lucas line for sure, Burt, if that's what you're referring to. Yeah, that is a Frank Lucas line for sure. Burt Wood in the movie John Wick is MTK not dirty. John, I just, the thing that's crazy, bro. I just watched John Wick last night.
Oh
It's
wow.
crazy you said that. I literally watched John Wick last night.
But
Like
I
it's
mean,
crazy.
to
It's
to
crazy.
to summarize everything, I mean, everybody's look. I mean, I'm sorry, we have to go to this. I have to say this because it kind of because I was going to talk about money, and right now you can see that where the money's coming from in boxing because a lot of people are trying to detach themselves from Daniel Kinahan and these organizations, and a lot of companies like the Zone, ESPN, Top Rank, they've all been running at a loss since COVID. So where are we going to get this money from? Here comes Saudi Arabia and Dubai. Please tell me, Jeff. Please tell me you watched the press conference yesterday, bro.
I seen snippets, but I didn't watch the whole thing.
Bro, they done a press conference and a media workout. I'm sorry to say, and I'm one of the least people to say it, bro. I thought that was like slavery. I swear to God, bro. I thought that was like slavery, bro.
Who
Like if
did
you
who
watch,
did the media workout?
AJ done it. Like he done a little media thing, but I meant, bro, it was it was like a slavery auction, bro. I'm like, it reminded me of Jack Johnson days. You know when you have the big black dude fighting in front of these rich people. I mean, there was no fans there, bro. It was just billionaires, or just a room full of like literally. Watch the press conference, bro.
Can
It's something I've never seen in my life. And I've watched, bro, I've been watching boxing my entire life. Before the
bro?
press conference started, you had
Mm-hmm.
like five people sitting in these chairs, Jeff. Like, like these high chairs, like they were royalty. I assume they were some form of the some form of Saudi Arabia royalty or something. And they were
Yeah,
sitting in these chairs, and the person who was the MC, he gave the floor to them, let them speak, and then they introduced the fighters and Eddie Hearn and the promoters and all of that stuff. And everybody in that room was like billionaires, bro. Like you could just see nothing but shakes, nothing but billionaire shakes. I'm like, bro, this slyly feels like some, you know, and there's a scene in Django where you got two black dudes fighting, and then you got
yeah.
those
I need
rich
some.
dudes just watching them.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I felt like that was,
I
bro. Like just a bunch of for my own entertainment, free bags full, sir. How high, sir? That's what I felt watching that. I'm like, bro,
I
this is literally boxing is supposed to
bro.
be for fans. This kind of removed the fan element out of it, the
Yeah,
whole pride element out of it.
bro. Like it's crazy. I remember when I remember when Floyd Mayweather. It was at one point people were talking about he wasn't like broke, but he was like, kind of going wild with the bunny or whatever. And I remember him having an interview, and he basically was like, he got offers just to work out, just to do boxing gym stuff in front of billionaires, and they was gonna pay him millions of dollars
Bro,
just to sit and watch him.
do you see what I'm saying? Do you
Just to
see
watch
why
him.
I'm
Yeah, like
saying
it's
it's a bit,
literally
it's very, 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 very
it's
belittling, bro.
you know what it is, yo. Like it's almost like you're the auction item.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you're the
You're
and you're
you're
almost
the
like showboating, putting on a show, 3 bags full, sir. How much, how high, sir? Kind of. And
like
bro, watch that. I pray, Jeff. Go watch that press conference.
I'm gonna
After, because
watch
me
it.
and you think the same way, bro.
I'm
After
gonna watch
the
it.
first 30 seconds, you're gonna look at this, bro. We're used to press conferences. Maybe press conferences might have a bit of fans. You have certain media, in the play in the arena,
Yeah.
Bro, there was nothing but shakes in there, bro. No fans, no nothing, just shakes.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. Like it's like when people, like I said, everybody got a price.
I
Everybody got a price, man. I
can only
remember,
imagine how much money that's
remember,
generated, bro.
remember, man, wrestling, $1 Million Man,
Yeah, yeah,
Ted
yeah.
DiBiase. I'm showing my age, but I don't care. But that was his favorite phrase. Everybody's got a price.
Because I'm just
Everybody's got a
saying, like,
price.
you're removing the fun element from it. So let me ask you a question. Let's say Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. What if that was in the buy? I mean, that would remove the fan element as well, but the purse will be so big. Let's say they offer them 200 million, 100 million a piece. They're going to take it because the purse is big, but there's no fans. You're just
So,
doing it for billionaires' entertainment.
but this is why I mentioned that in terms of the fight not being announced yet. So I listen, fuck it. I don't care. I don't care if this school's been private. I don't care. Any day, I'm like Terrence Crawford was had some type of like affiliation with MTK from a managerial standpoint. Um, so that's something that was going on basically behind the scenes when they were trying to work out the deal with Errol Spence. It's just me just putting one and two together. I do believe that Saudi might have been in play in regards to this fight. And if you think about, I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why for everybody start going all crazy and jumping all crazy. Everybody talks about purse bids and purse splits and
Percentage.
percentages and things like that with Spence and Crawford. And I haven't heard this much talk about how much another grown man is going to make in a fight in a long ass time. And I'm like, the reason why is because it should be a $100 million fight. But we know those are two African American fighters in an American market, and they're the most popular ones in the sport, but they're not the biggest money
They're not
makers
gonna,
in the sport.
and they're not going to make that money.
They're not gonna make that
I
money.
mean, I mean, what Jeff said something which is so upsetting, but he said that people were saying that Terence Crawford asking for 20 million was pricing himself out. And I was like
That's
to Jeff,
sad.
do you know how sad that is when
Sad.
I just saw Tyson Fury and Dylan White generate 42 million? So if 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 Terence Crawford is asking for 20 million for a fight that's supposed to be bigger than Dylan White and Tyson Fury. He's undercut himself, bro. Because let's say that fight's worth 50 million. 20% is you've undercut yourself 50-50. You've undercut 50-50. So you've given him the lion's share of the purse. But the problem is everybody in America, including Errol Spence fans, know that that fight doesn't generate enough money. Because
It's on.
if he asks for 20 million and Saudi Arabia are putting up the money, Errol Spence would give that in a heartbeat because he's getting at least 80 million easily.
Mm-hmm. And that's the That's the reason. That's the reason why this fight hasn't been made yet, because Spence is at the apex of his popularity. He's at the apex of his fighting career. Terrence Crawford, apex of his fighting career. His name, apex right now. Everything about this fight, and it's the premier fight to make in the sport. It could be one of the most significant fights in the last 10 years,
maybe 20.
maybe 20. But when you separate all of that and you pull out your calculator and you
They
get the
don't add up.
cash registered out, it doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. And you have to ask yourself why. And this is why I don't get into discussions with purse bids, and I'm
Yeah,
not purse bids, but purse splits
yeah,
when it
split.
comes down to Spence and Crawford. Because I'm like, a lot of the people that be talking about these purse splits is the reason why this money, this fight, is not going to generate
Mm-hmm.
the money that it's
Like
supposed to
even
generate.
Jeff is very consistent with that, because when Wilder was fighting AJ, Jeff said it's a $200 million fight. It don't matter about purse splits, bro. When you got $200 million on the table, I don't care how much the purse split is. That's $200 million. Now that didn't make sense to people, but all of a sudden Saudi Arabia came into question, and all of a sudden now people are seeing how it's very possible for it to be 200 million, maybe even plus. So
Mhm.
I agree with Jeff in the sense that no, when it comes to Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, there's no point getting involved in this purse split conversation. Now, I will ask you this though, Jeff. Do you think if Floyd was fighting now, he loves fighting in America? Do you think he would fight in Saudi?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
A
Hold on
pro
now.
fight,
Hold
I
on
mean,
now.
a pro fight.
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no.
Why?
He would only do an exhibition in Saudi, because no amount of money in the world is worth his record. That's his. That's his. That's his.
But
That's
what
his
if they
brand.
put? But what if they put him having a fight in Saudi doesn't affect his record, does it?
Yeah, it would if it's a real fight.
Fair enough.
Now, if he took a L against any of these exhibition dudes, it doesn't go against his record. His
No, but
record,
I'm just saying, let's say he fought, let's say Amir Khan in Saudi Arabia. Do you think he would take that fight?
nah, he would take that fight. I would take that fight. I would have a clear weight advantage, but I would take that fight, and I would like my chances. Yeah, I mean, that's something different. That's
Now I'm
different.
just
Like
thinking to myself, because that
I,
is a possibility. That
but the
could
thing
have been
is,
a possibility.
but Shane, the reasons why I'm saying he wouldn't do it has nothing to do with the money, though. It
Yeah.
has nothing to do with the money. Like, it's all about him being comfortable fighting in Vegas. He gets certain perks in Vegas that he doesn't get anywhere else, and it's home field. Like, it's home field. But if I put it to you like this, like if somebody told Floyd Mayweather, like, hey, um, you can earn $1 billion in the next 3 fights, but he got to fight Spence, Crawford, and Boots back to back to back, but he's guaranteed to make $1 billion. He's not gonna take it.
No.
He's not gonna take it because he cares about that O. That O is worth just as much money as he's worth in his mind. That's why he moves the way he moves. Like he will never fight a Spence type guy. He would never fight a Bud type guy. He would never fight a Boots type guy.
All
Like,
right,
he would never fight those guys.
what,
Never.
what, what did you think? I don't know. Did you see the face off between Music and AJ?
Yeah.
What did you
Yeah.
think of that? I mean, a lot of people in the UK are paying that a lot of attention. Do you pay any attention? Because
Mm,
obviously they were looking at each other, and obviously
I
they were looking at the demeanors of each other. For one, for once in my life, I actually paid attention to the face to face. What did you? I'll tell you why
I
after.
I did too. I did too. And I'm gonna tell you why from my end. both of them look like they had attitudes. But if you think about it, they've had a reason to have attitudes. Like Usyk is going back to his home country, and all of that is going on in his home country. So he has a reason to have an attitude. If you notice, he hasn't said anything about the belts. He hasn't said
Nope.
anything about being champion. None of that.
Nope.
He's dealing with something much bigger than that, which is going to put you in a foul mood. And you could tell he was in a foul mood. AJ, he's listening to people like me, Shane, and a bunch of other people. That's like, his heart is in the lost and found. He shouldn't have taken this fight to begin with. He got to hear from people like us. He got to hear from people like us. So that's gonna get under his skin. There's some people that think AJ got a shot. I don't think he got a shot in God's green. You know what I'm saying?
I saw something in AJ yesterday that I don't know whether I should be concerned about or happy about. I don't know. He looked very motivated, and I wasn't surprised about that. But I also saw someone who was very, very emotional. When I mean emotional, in the sense that this was someone who literally felt like he had a point to prove.
Yeah.
And I got the impression like he was fighting like I almost got the weight of the world on my shoulders. Just in that head-to-head, looking at Usyk, it was like even the subtle things of not looking away and making sure I look away last and making sure I look mean, and just those things. You can tell that he was trying to prove a point that he's not broken, that he still can still win. He's still the best version of himself. And that's a good thing and a bad thing, because it shows he's very motivated. It shows I mean, it shows that he has belief in himself from a confidence perspective. Like, he still believes that he can achieve something, but it also shows that not a little bit of insecurity, but it's like not comfortable. He looked a little bit uncomfortable. I know someone said AJ looked very calm. I didn't get that impression. I thought he was calm in the first press conference and the first weigh-in. I thought he was calm in the first weigh-in against Ruiz. I saw when I saw him against Ruiz in the rematch, I saw a person who was very, very confident. Like, he believed that he was going to win the fight. He believed that with this game plan, it's going to go right and win. I'm not saying he don't believe he's going to win this fight, but I feel like he's got a lot to prove. He believes that he has a lot to prove. And that's what's worrying to me.
Yeah, I don't think he stepped into any fight not thinking he was going to win the fight. This is the first time I've watched AJ walk into a fight, and I'm like, boxing wise, I'm like, ain't nothing he can do. He gonna have to land a money shot. And I've
Yeah.
never walked in, I've never looked at an AJ fight, him going up against anybody, Andy Ruiz, it don't matter. Klitschko, it don't matter. I never evaluated an AJ fight, and I was just like, just boxing wise, I'm like, there's if Usyk is on his B+ game, I'm like, it ain't a damn thing AJ can do. He's gonna have to catch Usyk in an exchange, and he's gonna have to capitalize on a moment. It's the only way he's gonna win this fight. He's not gonna win no 12-round boxing match. To be honest with you, he's not gonna win no 8-round war because his gas tank gonna go out.
Yeah.
He has a 5-round limit. 5 rounds. He got 5 rounds to get it done. To hit Usyk was some big shit. And hold on, let me get this. Hold on, one more thing, Shane. One more thing. Even in the group chat, I think it might have been Will that put up a 45-second clip, and he was like, "This is the reason why AJ has a shot in that fight." I didn't respond to it, but I'm gonna respond to it now.
What did he show?
It was the 6th round of that fight when it was AJ's best round, but it was like the last minute of the round. And I'm like, out of it, this is what you really call like you're trying to find a silver lining any way you can. You
Light
literally
at the
have a
end of the dark
12-round
tunnel.
fight, right? You got a 12-round fight. And Will, that's my guy. You have a 12-round fight and you highlight 1 minute and you like, this is why he got a shot. Like, let that sink in for a minute.
Yeah.
Like, you got
You got to rely on the
36
isolated.
minutes. 36 minutes, and all you can highlight is a minute out of 36. And that's why he got a shot.
That's disturbing.
That's not good. Like I would say, I didn't respond to it, but I was just like, that's not encouraging.
I mean,
Like, that's not encouraging.
again, another thing which I feel like, and I've said it, I I don't think it was a good idea getting Robert Garcia in the corner. I just don't believe it is. Robert Garcia isn't a tactician. He's a good coach. He's a coach who's worked with multiple world champions, never a heavyweight, but that's fine. But he's not a tactician.
Correct.
AJ is gonna need to find a way to win this fight. And to me, he's going to have to try multiple things because the first way might fail. The second way might fail. He's going to need a coach who's going to be able to think on his feet and spot something in that fight and go, that's what you're going to have to attack. Because to me, from what I've seen from Robert Garcia, and I'm just talking about from what I've seen, the multiple fights that I've seen Robert Garcia in the corner for, he seems like an A-type trainer. When plan A works, it's all gravy, it's all smooth, it's all plain sailing. Clap your hands and go home. That's what Robert Garcia is. But if plan A don't work, you're gonna need a plan B, C, D, and E, and F and G. That's what you're gonna need because in a fight like this, AJ can't go in there with one game plan. He's gonna, he's gonna have to do. He's literally gonna have to keep throwing shit at the wall and see what sticks. Throw, see if that don't stick. Throw something else and see if that sticks. You need someone who's gonna be able to adjust on the fly because you're gonna have to anticipate that the first thing you try ain't gonna work because there's no one in your camp that's gonna be able to replicate none of the things Usyk are gonna be able to do. So the first thing you try probably ain't gonna work. Maybe the next thing you might try probably won't work. You need like a Teddy Atlas in your corner. A Jonathan Banks in your corner, someone who's in there who's going to be able to spot something. Well, Teddy Atlas will probably prepare you before camp, but Jonathan Banks will spot something in the corner and say, attack this, attack that, attack this. And that's what I would be looking for if I was picking a coach.
Yeah, I mean, I said it before, man. I don't think there's a coach on the
I
planet.
get why he got Robert Garcia, though, but it's just...
I
would have preferred Abel Sanchez to Robert Garcia. If you're going to go Mexican style, go all the way Mexican style because obviously that's the style that he wants to go with. Ultra aggressive, slugging it out, war type fighting. So,
well, the thing about that is, when you fight like that, you got to walk through fire.
yeah.
His chin ain't fireproof, man. That chin ain't fireproof, man. Like it's definitely no smoke alarms in that joint for sure. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's, like whatever he throws against the wall, he's gonna get hit while he's doing it. And it's
Yeah.
like, can you survive the shots? And I'm just, his chin is just too sketchy. So I'm like, it has nothing to do with like, it has something to do with skill in a sense, but I'm like, it's just a bad style matchup, number one. And number two, when he gets touched, when he gets in that ultra aggressive style, that's right up Usyk's alley. That is right. You playing right into his hands. You playing right into his hands. That's exactly what he wants. He gets to get all his openings and he ain't got to do none of the work to get it.
Right.
Shane, you know that. I know that.
Right.
I'm like, you can get ultra aggressive all you want. All you want. But I'm like, it
Joe
has to be
Smith Jr. in there, bro.
yeah, like I'm like, there has to be a certain level of dirtiness too. Like you have to mix it up. But I'm like, AJ has never done that. He's never done that. The only thing AJ has shown in the past is he's had a mean streak inside the ring. But that mean streak came against the right people I've never seen him go up against a guy, and I'm like, yo, this style matchup is so bad for him. It's so bad. This is a bad style matchup. And I'm like, and
And
listen,
he hasn't even figured out the southpaw stance yet.
he hasn't figured that out either. And the reason why I know he hasn't figured it out is because he was doing a lot of pawing in that fight.
Yeah, that's
It
the
wasn't
worst
even
thing to
that's the
do
worst thing to do,
against the
especially at
southpaw.
heavyweight. Especially at heavyweight.
Yeah,
Like the worst thing you can
with
do
your
is
heavy
be
feet,
pawing.
to paw, worst thing to do. That counter over the top is just there all the time.
And every time he got caught, he was pawing with the right hand. That lead right hand, he was pawing with it, and Usyk was just coming right over the top. And you could tell he wasn't comfortable. And listen,
What game plan would you go with if you were AJ's coach? If you got the phone call right now and they said to you, Jeff, I need you to formulate a game plan, expose some of Usyk's weaknesses, and formulate a game plan to beat Usyk. What would you do?
Me personally, this is now what I'm about to tell y'all is the game plan to put yourself in position to be successful offensively. All right. Number one, that a lot of times when you're facing a southpaw guy, a lot of times when you're an orthodox fighter, you're not going to throw that left jab.
Unless you slap it.
Unless you slap it. Right. Which basically is a setup shot.
Yeah.
The first thing I'm doing, that left jab or that lead left hook has to be a setup shot. But you got to do it at the right distance, though. You got to do it at the right distance. That's number one. Number two, all jabs to the chest area first quarter of the fight.
Oh, I would say
all in here.
All
shots here, the neck down to the waist. Don't even aim for the head. Because you need to build confidence that you're
touching something.
You're touching something. You're hitting something. So part of it is a mental battle. Offensively. Even if you're not landing clean, you be like, all right, I'm not landing clean, but I am hitting something. I'm not hitting air. I am hitting something. So while you're doing that, you're gradually getting closer. When you get in the clinch, start ripping them body shots. You gotta rough it up. So I'm like, no head shots, and you gotta rough it up. That's what I would do to get yourself in position for that fight. Footwork, to be honest with you, it ain't really much he can do. It's nothing he can do. It's nothing he can do. It's not the only thing he can do is try to set traps and try to get Usyk to walk in the shots. But that's where that lead left hook comes in, and that left jab over the top.
My biggest problem, I watched the fight a couple of days ago, just because I saw the fight was announced. Like, oh, I got some time to kill. Let me watch this fight. Biggest problem was Usyk was taking too much steps to his left and to his right. So AJ just had to keep resetting. His feet was never planted to throw shots. I mean,
that was a key to the whole fight.
I don't know what AJ can do to negate that. I don't know what he can do to negate that.
And the thing is, the one thing he can do, he ain't got a gas tank for it. Like if you bull rush Usyk, he's gonna just get out of there. If you bull rush him, he's just gonna get out of there. AJ doesn't have the stamina to bull rush multiple times in a round and last the entire 12.
Yeah,
he just doesn't. But you can fight Usyk in spurts. And
what about the nasty tactics like what the Mexicans used to do, like step on the left foot? And
his feet ain't even good enough for that. He could do that. I
mean, I'm just trying to figure out something. Bro,
Usyk would have a better chance doing that than AJ would.
Yeah, I know. AJ's feet is just so terrible. That's the problem. I mean, working with Robert McCracken, you could clearly see that's the problem. Like, Robert McCracken's never worked on footwork.
Yeah.
In fact, most British trainers don't work on footwork enough. I give Ben Davison credit. He actually is one of the coaches that do. But
yeah, and you know the thing that's crazy, bro? Like, AJ does a lot of people that are AJ fans. They'll say, "Oh, well, his feet not bad. He does a lot of bouncing." I'm like, "Yeah, he bounces in place."
Yeah.
If you notice, he's like this. but he's bouncing in place. It's never side to side like this. He's just bouncing in place like this.
You know, that's
You know what
so
I'm
funny.
saying?
Have you ever watched, you know, John Witherspoon, the comedian?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, bro. He has a stand-up comedy on Def Jam where he's dancing and he's literally doing the exact same thing he just
Yeah,
done. Where
like
he's
when he
just
do
on
his
his toes, just bouncing in the
yeah, when
same
he
place.
yeah, he do that in his movies. He be like whoopee, like he be
Yeah,
like
yeah,
this.
yeah. Just
Yeah.
bouncing in the same.
Or he'll stand in place. He'd be like bang, 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 bang.
Yeah,
Like, you
yeah,
know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's
Facts,
but
bro.
that's how AJ move. Like that's how he bounce. Like he bounce
No
in place.
circling,
No
no
circling, no nothing.
like. And AJ, like this is the thing with footwork is very subtle. Like I can break down the X's and O's of footwork to the day I'm old. Like it's very, very important foot placement, especially against a southpaw. In fact, it's more important than hands. You literally can win a fight purely and simply of footwork. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
literally. I know people who say, "Oh, but you need to throw punches." Listen, if you're not throwing punches at the right distance, your punches mean nothing. Your
Correct.
foot is the what's it called? Like you might have an atomic bomb, but you need something to get that atomic bomb to the place that you need it to land
Yeah.
and do what it needs to do to
Yeah.
detonate. You
For
know?
sure. For sure. Burt Wood, he said G5 was John Wick 1, 2, or 3. They all badass. I was watching 3. Man. Stay ready in the building. Big shout out to Stay
Yeah.
Ready. Say what's good, family. Big shout out to you, big bro. Brendan Smith, he said, will we ever see Fury versus AJ or Usyk?
I'm
I, I,
optimistic.
I'm optimistic as well. Because to be honest with you, no matter what's going on, Fury gonna need to step back in the ring to get some money outside of Daniel
It,
Kinahan anyway.
if AJ wins, I am very confident. If Usyk wins, I'm less confident.
Because if you think about it, because I'm actually I'm very confident that Fury's gonna fight the winner. Because think about it, he like what if they like not wishing this on him, but I'm like usually when you affiliated with people like that,
You say they freeze
usually it's the
assets.
travel. Yeah, usually it's the travel and then they freeze assets. But I'm like, if he fights a legit fight and he's not affiliated with Daniel Kinahan, they technically can't freeze that.
I mean, he just fought a fight that wasn't attached to Daniel Kinner for
Yeah, but I
30
get
something million.
yeah, but that's the thing though. Like they can't target all of it, but they could definitely target some of it. You know what I mean? So I think he's definitely gonna fight again for sure.
I mean,
Like,
I mean, I wonder if Top Rank are gonna be. I mean, do you feel like this is a little bit of a coincidence, Jeff? All of a sudden, he gets banned from entering America after his 5-fight deal with Top Rank is up. Don't you think that's a bit of a coincidence? He had 5 fights with Top Rank, the two Wilder fights, Dylan White, um, Otto Wallin, and Tom Shorts. He had a 5-fight deal. I think you guys should all remember that.
mhm.
All of a sudden, he's not allowed to go to America. The same time his 5-fight deal with ESPN's up. You not find that a little bit of a coincidence? Maybe I'm reading into it too much. Maybe I'm just
I
overthinking.
You are reading into it too much, but it's a hell of a read, though, man. I give you that. It's a hell of a read. Hold on. Brennan said, I don't think Fury can win against Usyk.
I mean, he
Uh,
definitely can.
he definitely can.
Definitely can.
Yeah, he definitely can. Southgate, I hope this doesn't hold up the heavyweight division. Will be a shame if it does. Nah.
Heavyweight division is already struggling in the sense that I don't feel like the depth that we saw maybe 2 years ago. It doesn't have the same level of depth anymore. You
Yeah.
know, a lot of those dudes have taken losses. A lot of those dudes have gone a bit long in the tooth. You know, the dudes that Tony Yoka's taken a loss, Dylan White's taken a loss. You know,
Mhm.
Andy Ruiz hasn't looked as stellar as he looked prior. You know, Dubois taken a loss. You know, it's not the same division that we saw maybe 3-4 years ago.
It's a
Um,
lot of guys that's they're trending down
yeah, I mean,
if it
yeah, I mean,
stops.
if AJ and Usyk fight each other, or if Usyk and Fury fight each other for undisputed, it's like then what? It's not like at 122 where you got the likes of Raisa Aleem and
Mm-hmm.
um Figueroa is still there and etc. etc. I can go down
Mm-hmm.
the list. Or at
Mm-hmm.
147 where the undisputed can still fight Boots or Virgil or Conor Ben or uh, Thurman or something. It's not
Yeah.
like that. Heavyweight, if you become undisputed, there's not really much fights out there for you.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
maybe Tyson Fury might fight Joe Joyce, good fight. I think that's a good fight, but it ain't the same glitz and glamour of as undisputed.
Facts. Facts. Um, Southgate said Usyk is very dangerous in the rematch. I believe is going to be harder than the first time.
Oh, that's a
Still
fact.
giving him a puncher's chance though. So the thing about this Southgate is he won that fight against AJ, in my opinion, pretty easily. And I don't think he had everything figured out.
I don't think,
So
but going into the fight, I don't think he knew whether he could take AJ's punch. I didn't
yeah,
think he knew if he could hurt AJ, and I also didn't think he. I mean, he was going forward in that fight for a lot of that fight.
hmm
I didn't think he would have thought he would have been that comfortable to go forward and press the action.
yeah, I expect for Usyk to be more dynamic offensively. I expect for him to be
Especially
very
in the latter
dynamic
half of the fight.
offensively. Yeah,
Especially because
that back
AJ's gonna
half
come out aggressive.
from
AJ's gonna
eight
come out aggressive.
from
But
8 to 12, Usyk should look like gold rounds 8 to
you
12.
might stop him. I literally believe he
8 to
actually
12.
might get stopped.
If Usyk opens up, he can get AJ up out of there. He can get
Because
AJ up out of there for
AJ is
sure.
gonna be much more aggressive, which means his gas
Yeah,
tank's gonna be called into question, his chin's
it's
gonna be
more
called into
opportunities.
question,
Yeah, and it's gonna
more
be
opportunities to get hit. And I
yeah.
just feel like bro.
I would not be surprised if Usyk gets AJ up out of there like in 9.
I mean, because
I wouldn't be surprised.
I feel like at some point, AJ is gonna be like, do I want to get knocked out and go for this, but risk getting knocked out, or do I just want to survive and go 12? And I think AJ's pride isn't gonna let him say, you know what,
Listen,
let's just try and last this
AJ
for 12.
AJ is one of the most prideful fighters in the
Mm-hmm.
sport, and I will definitely give him that. He has a 80s type demeanor to him in terms of he doesn't care who it is, he will step in the ring with him. And that's what I respect about AJ. I think he will literally hop in the ring against anybody. Like in a way, it's kind of when you think of it, it's kind of crazy because this is certain dudes you just should avoid, but AJ's like, nah, like just bring them. Like, but I used to think the same thing about Amir Khan. I'd be like, yo, like this dude is freaking nuts, yo. Like
I
he
mean,
will
I
fight
mean, I mean,
anybody. Like,
we're seeing this with Anthony Yard, but I think Anthony Yard is a little bit different. I think
yeah,
Anthony Yard is more neglect than what AJ is just bad decision making at the wrong times. Anthony Yard is just out and out neglect. That's like having a new child, a, a 2-year old, and just leaving them with a pedophile. Like that is literally like what you're doing with you're leaving Anthony Yard out to the slaughter. I mean,
yeah,
but it's just ridiculous.
yeah,
Ridiculous. Like you've had 30 fights, amateur and pro combined, and you're about to fight a 400 and plus fight career, 2-time Olympian. This dude has had multiple world title fights, fought multiple world champions, and never gone the distance. He's fought fighters incredibly more experienced than you, the likes of Kovalev, Volzik, Usyk, Hunter. He's fought way more fighters than you.
yeah,
And you're gonna throw him in there, this young puppy in there with a live pit bull. I mean, talk about neglect. That is the
yeah,
definition of neglect.
yeah. It's crazy. Burt Wood just saying not many people pick AJ to beat Ruiz too.
Nah,
Ruiz beat himself.
I picked AJ to beat Ruiz.
Yeah, 80
I,
pounds
I was
overweight. Ruiz
confident.
still went distance. Yeah, we both
I was
said A was a
confident AJ
yeah,
was
we
gonna beat
both said
Ruiz.
AJ was gonna win that fight. We said it before the weigh-in, but after the weigh-in, we was like, yeah, we was like AJ's winning this fight.
What weight is
AJ's
good
winning this
for
fight.
AJ in this next fight?
No more than 240. No more than
I was thinking
240.
240. I was thinking 240 as a
No
weight.
more than 240. I
I
think
think he
that's
was
a solid.
230, 235 against Usyk. But I don't think the weight was a problem in the last fight
Nah,
anyway.
it wasn't. It's just it wasn't that. I don't think. I just don't want him coming in heavy.
I think
Like
that,
it's, but the
that
light,
would be a problem. That
yeah,
would
the
be a problem.
light, it's funny because it's like you don't want him coming in heavy, but the him being light is not going to better his chances either because his feet bad. I
I
just don't
mean,
want him heavy
you
because
don't
this is going
want
to make
the.
it
I don't,
worse.
if he's too heavy, the gas tank's gonna go
The
quicker.
gas tank is going to go. Like that's a fact. Gas tank is definitely going to
I
go.
mean,
So I want him lighter for that reason, though. Like just
with
to conserve
Usyk,
his gas tank.
I think Usyk's probably gonna be somewhere around 220, like maybe 218, 220, between 218 and 224. I can see Usyk coming in around there. And
Yeah,
I don't think that's a problem. I think
yeah,
he's gradually. I think he's done the heavyweight route the right way and put on the weight gradually. I think when he fought Witherspoon and Chisora, those were the times where he was slowly building up, acclimatizing him to the weight. And then I think he fought AJ at 220, so
yeah. I
he
and,
didn't
and the
give up
thing
too much of
about
a weight advantage anyway.
And the thing about AJ's gas tank that's concerning to me, which is the main reason why I think he's gonna lose this fight. Um Usyk didn't put no real body work in to kind of drain the
No,
battery. He didn't walk all around the ring. He was pretty much in
in
AJ's
the yeah,
wheelhouse
yeah.
the entire time. Like they was literally just circling the ring, like right in the middle. So AJ's gas tank should have been fine because he didn't have to do a lot of searching. Usyk was right there in a
They have
sense.
to throw. It was a very low output type fight.
Yeah, so I there was no reason why it's no reason why the gas tank shouldn't have been higher, for me anyway. Because
I
I'm
mean,
like,
I've never
Usyk didn't
seen
give him a
AJ play
reason.
high speed chess neither. High speed chess is one of the hardest types of, like, it's one of the hardest things to do. To play high speed chess. I mean, that's why I think Errol Spence is going to lose to Crawford. And I was going to say this to you the other day. I think Errol Spence is going to lose to Crawford. And I'm I was 50-50, but now I'm 55-45 because after I don't think Errol Spence can play high speed chess. I think he can play chess. I just don't think he can play high speed chess.
Yeah, I think Spence. Like I think in the first, to be honest with you, I might the Porter fight was high speed chess.
Was it? I just think that was just an aggressive fight. It wasn't
Yeah, but
really
that's
technical.
but it's yeah, but that's what made it. That's well, we can change it to a high speed fight.
It was a high speed fight,
It
but
was a high speed fight.
I
So it
don't think
wasn't
it was
no chess.
high
It
speed
wasn't too
chess.
much chess. It wasn't too much
That's
chess
what I'm
going on.
saying.
It was a
That's what
high
I'm
speed
saying.
fight. I'll agree with that. It was a high speed fight.
I
You know
think
what I'm
this
saying?
fight is going to be high speed chess. Both dudes are going to have a mutual respect for each other, but they're going to want to get certain offensive things off without making mistakes. So they're going to have to set traps at a certain phonetic pace, worrying about what's coming back at them. I'll give you an example of I'll give you a recent. I'm trying to figure out a recent example of high speed chess. I can name off the dome, but I don't know if he had watched that fight. Um, Lomachenko Teofimo Lopez.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lomachenko Teofimo Lopez. That was a high speed chess match. Another high speed chess match. Let me think of one. Josh Taylor, Jose Ramirez, but that was more aggressive from Jose Ramirez. That wasn't really high speed chess. Um,
I can lean more towards the chess side because it wasn't like a all out brawl
no,
neither.
it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't an all out
It
brawl
was some
neither.
chess. It was some chess going on in there.
I mean, what I always say was high speed chess. In fact, you have watched this fight. The number one fight I always say is high speed chess. Is if no one's ever watched this fight, go and watch it. You will know what I mean as soon as I say Brady's versus Usyk. That was the definition of high speed chess. Like you got
Yeah.
two known jabbers, known boxers who like to box, and they fought 80 punches around a piece. but they were throwing nothing but technical shots. No out and out aggression, just high speed chess. That's what that fight was.
Yeah.
That's one of the references I always use.
Yeah, facts. Sir Antbo, what's going on? Play says salute to you, bro. Appreciate you stopping in. Burt Wood said G5 John Wick don't mess with a man, car, dog. That's a fact. 100% facts. I just the reason why I wanted to bring up this whole Fury thing is to really bring up the Usyk and AJ fight. To be honest with you, because I'm like it's really between them three at the end of the day right now, and I would they fight August 20th,
August 5th.
August 5th. Okay, they fight August 5th, and I think Usyk wins that fight. I think he wins that fight, and I think he wins it in more impressive fashion than he did the first fight. He might get AJ up out of there. You know what I'm saying? If he opens up, he might get him up out of there. But the heavyweight division is just there's not a lot of guys that's trending up right now. Like
Joe Joyce, but then
Joe Joyce,
he's
but he hasn't been
fighting
in the ring in a
Carlos.
while.
He's fighting Hammer. That is a terrible fight.
Yeah. It's almost like that's like a stay busy fight. Like I get it, but the thing is, there's not a lot of guys that's like hot right now in the heavyweight division. I don't want to say not trending up because I'm like, even though Joe Joyce hasn't fought in a little while, like he's trending up. Like he's trending up.
Hergovich maybe.
Hergovich, yeah, his name is kind of still a little hot in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Just off of people turning him down.
Jared Anderson.
But see, the thing is, Jared Anderson, his stock is going down a little bit because he hasn't been in the ring in a while. And he's out of sight, out of mind. Yeah, he's out of sight, out of mind right now.
Yeah.
Right? He's out of sight, out of mind right now. So it's a lot of guys that's either just stagnant. Like they're not hot and they're not cold neither. Like, it's just stagnant. You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna say Joseph Parker, but after Junior Farr got knocked out,
yeah, you really gotta evaluate. You really gotta evaluate that victory. And to be honest with you, like we looking forward to speaking to Lucas Brown. Later on. But when it comes down to it, like you have to evaluate that. You have to evaluate that at the end of the day, man. So heavyweight division is now 6 months ago, Shane and I have been like, yo, you can go 25, 30 deep.
I still can. I just don't.
You still can go 25, 30
at that level.
Yeah,
look at people like Robert Helenius. After that win, what has he done?
Yeah,
he ain't done nothing.
You can go 25, 30 deep, but I'm like, a lot of those fights is watered down.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Like even Ruiz King Kong, they say he would win. That's a tough to ask, but I'd probably lean towards Ruiz, to be honest.
Yeah, and that's a terrible fight, yo. I don't care what anybody says, yo.
You think so? Not that bad. It's not that bad.
That's a bad fight, yo.
Why?
That's a bad fight. Because, like, what does it do? What does it do for Ruiz if he beats Ortiz? They're just gonna say he was an old ass dude.
Profile?
They're just gonna say he was an old ass dude. Right.
But maybe it might set up a Wilder fight, him versus Wilder.
That's the only benefit out of it. That's the only benefit out of it because PBC don't have anybody.
That would be an amazing comeback fight for Wilder.
Bro, that's the outside of Wilder, that's the biggest fight they can make a heavyweight.
What?
Ruiz and King Kong.
You mean on PBC?
Yes. That's the biggest heavyweight fight they can make that doesn't involve Wilder's name.
Yeah.
That's sad, yo. That's not good. That's not, and it's gonna be on pay-per-view. Like that's not good.
Oh wow.
That's not good. Wow. That's not good.
Daryl Miller's coming back.
The thing that's like so ironic about his comeback. He's coming back on a card that has to do the theme of it is like anti-drugs.
What?
Like I'm not even
lying. How is that the theme? What do you mean?
Like so it's like they how you know how they'll have an event and they'll be like all of the proceeds is going to this charity or something like that. It's
Yeah.
kind of something like that, but it's literally like an anti. It's to support like an anti-drug campaign or something like that. Like dead serious.
Someone
Like
done
Google
that.
it. Google it.
Someone done that for
Yeah,
clout
like being
or a joke.
sarcastic or
Yeah.
just nah, like, but it's crazy. You know what I mean? Like it's really crazy out here. He said Ruiz versus King Kong, who will win.
I'm leaning towards Ruiz.
I'm a lean towards Ruiz only because King Kong's chin has been
I
kind of
mean, he's
rattled
done,
around.
bro. That dude
Yeah,
got dropped with a jab against Martin.
yeah. I mean, you smell the icy hot from the locker room, man. Like he's
I
like
mean,
old.
I'll be looking to put what's it called? I mean, Jared Anderson with any of those dudes right now.
Yeah, yeah. He can go in against any of them dudes for sure. Brennan, don't see Wilder this year. I don't know if we will see him. To be honest with you, bro, he's in a position where he don't have to come back from a financial standpoint. And of course, I'm not in his pockets, but based off of the amounts that
Been
he's
paid.
been paid, if he's been smart with his money and not put it in Bitcoin, then he should be fine.
Why did you
You
say
know,
not put it in Bitcoin?
right? He should be
Why did you
fine.
say that?
Bitcoin is down so much right now, bro. It's professional athletes that put all their salary in Bitcoin, and it's down like 50%, 60%.
Who?
You know what I'm
Who done that?
saying? Um, a lot of football players. A lot of
Oh
football
wow.
players. Yeah, a lot of football players.
I mean, I
They
heard what's it called? I heard what's going on with Kyrie Irving? I saw something today. I don't know what happened.
Kyrie, so he has an option of either opting into his contract or he could become a free agent. So there's a bunch of back and forth between him and the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets don't want to give him no long-term deal, but he's eligible for like a 5-year deal worth like $200 million, and they don't want to give him the 5 years. They don't even want to give him 3 years because he's so just inconsistent. Like he's just weird. Like
When
he's
you
just
mean
weird.
inconsistent, what do you mean he's not playing well?
He didn't want to get the vaccine, which I can respect that, but he lost $17 million by not getting the vaccine. He missed a lot of games over the last like 3 years. Like he'll say, "I need a break," and just take a week off and say it's for something important, and then you'll find him at a party or something. Like he just
Oh,
random. He just super random.
this
Like
dude, the Adrian Broner of
yeah, he's the
basketball.
AB of he's the AB of basketball. Like it's crazy.
And Golden State won the finals. I watched it. I
Yeah,
watched
Golden
it.
State won the
I watched it.
finals. Yeah, and that team gonna be tough next year too because I
I
pretty
heard,
much
I
all
heard,
know
I
from them.
heard there was a speculation that LeBron was going to Golden State.
He love Golden State, man, but he ain't going there, man. He ain't going there. The league ain't gonna allow that.
Why?
That'd be he would win they'll win a title every year, bro. They would win a title every year. Like
But LeBron hasn't won a title in a couple years now. How many years has
it's
it been
been
since
like
LeBron?
uh three.
Okay, I thought
Three.
so.
Yeah, three. He won the one when they was in a bubble, when the pandemic started. So it was what 20?
Okay.
That was 20. Yeah. So hold on. He said Burt will say, remember this, Garcia will be AJ excuse.
Nah, he won't
Nah,
be.
I don't think so. I don't
I
think
just
so.
think people just accept that there's levels.
Like if AJ convincingly beats Usyk, I will be praising, singing all his praises, bro.
But
All of
I
them.
just think people are gonna call AJ a bum after this.
Even if he wins.
No, if AJ
Oh,
loses, they're just
just
gonna call
oh, if
AJ
he
a bum.
leaves, yeah, they're just gonna call him. Yeah, they're just going. But see, in the AJ fans is still gonna give him an opportunity because they're gonna be like, "Yo, that was just a bad style matchup."
I don't think it's got nothing to do with being a bum or none of that stuff. I just think certain fighters is just better than you.
Yeah, yeah.
I still give him a good chance against the Fury. I just think, I mean, a mentally prepared and emotionally prepared AJ, I give him a good chance against Fury.
There's
I
a
mean, at
lot of
least
guys at
40%.
heavyweight. There's a lot of guys at heavyweight. I think AJ has a good shot at beating. Like, but it's just this one is just the style. It's just the style. Like, it's
I
just
give him more chance. Nah, it's a lie. I would say I give him more chance beating Usyk than Fury, but that's a lie because I don't know where his emotional and mental state is right now. That's my problem. If he's emotionally and mentally stable and right, then I give him a good chance.
yeah, yeah. Facts, facts. Burt Wood said G5 who wins Ahmed Delayev or Ronnie
I
Rios.
lean towards Ahmed Alive.
Yeah, I'm gonna lean towards MJ on this one, but Rios is really, really tough, bro. I wouldn't be surprised if Rios pulled off the upset. I'll say that.
I wouldn't be surprised neither, but I'll be a little bit disappointed. 'Cause I wanted to see Fulton versus
Yeah,
Ahmed Alive.
yeah. Said who wins, Jesse Ben Rodriguez or Rungvisai? I'm gonna go with Rungvisai in this fight, but again, if Bam gets the dub, I wouldn't be overly shocked. These are two really, really good fights. This is a good card. This is a good card.
Who
Um,
did Jesse Rodriguez beat in his last fight? Check that for me, Jeff. He came off a good win. Can't remember who it was against.
um,
Check that for me, please.
I got you.
Because it's
I
bugging me.
got you. I got you.
And I remember watching it was on the zone.
I got you. Hold on. I got you. Give me just a second. Mm,
You can't find it.
I'm in I'm in box rec now. Hold on. Hold on a second, bro. I think my spelling is wrong. Hold on.
I'm hoping someone in the comments can let us know quickly. But yeah, Je- it was bugging me ever since that came up because he fought. Who did he fight?
Yeah, that shit is bugging me, bro. Hold on. Let me pull up the schedule, like,
One
because
second.
that fight's going on with the 25th.
Yeah, stay on the phone.
Yeah, I think it's the 25th. Um, yeah, it's bugging me, bro. Let me get to the 25th real quick. It's a damn shame. So
Yeah, he fought Kudras.
yeah.
Because
Yes.
remember that was late replacement because it was supposed
Yeah.
to be Estrada.
Estrada.
Estrada
Right.
was supposed to be fighting. And then
Right.
he came up a weight class and fought Kudras and
Yeah.
beat Kudras. That's what it was. I remember that was a good performance as well. So yeah, Rangvisai's coming off a good win.
Yeah.
But
A real good win.
It's interesting because that was Estrada's strap, but then Rangvisai and Estrada's already fought twice. Chocolatito and Rangvisai
Hmm.
already fought twice.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be. But apparently Rangvisai and apparently Estrada and Chocolatito's fighting for a third time.
Hmm.
Is that fight announced already?
I don't know if it's officially announced, but that's what I got. So,
I mean, you thought Chocolatito won the second fight. I remember.
oh yeah, I was pissed off about that. I ain't even on front. I was pissed off like I had money on it. I didn't even have no money on it. It's crazy. Brennan said, I don't think AJ can't win against Fury. I think he has a better shot against Fury than he does Usyk. Fury's a
I
better
mean, an
style matchup for him.
emotionally and mental prepared AJ. I keep having to emphasize that. Emotionally prepared AJ is a good fighter. If he's not
Real
emotionally and
good.
mentally prepared, he ain't beating. He ain't beating neither one.
Yeah, and the thing I like about AJ is like AJ, when it comes down to it, he will do what he needs to do to win a fight. Like he don't have a problem putting his pride to the side because that's what he had to do in the second Andy Ruiz fight. He had to put his pride to the side and actually fight a smart fight. But the thing is, like there was a better chance of him pulling off a clean boxing match versus a Ruiz versus him trying to pull off a clean boxing match against fucking boxing master. Like you can't do it.
Yeah,
You gotta get straight, you gotta like you gotta get Chino Maidana on Usyk. You know what I
facts.
mean? That style wins against Usyk, not sitting back, jab, right hand, slip out the side door. No, that shit's
Shoe
not working
shining.
against Usyk.
Shoe
Shoe
shining.
shine and all that. Nah. You gotta literally get in there and be a roughneck. For real. And Brendan Smith get this last one in. Rung Vasai can win if he has a good game plan. I think Rung Vasai, like he should win the fight. Like me personally, like I think
I
he
mean, he's got
should
the
win the fight.
power. He's
Yeah,
got the
like
power. I mean, I think I actually want to see the odds for that fight because it's probably because Rungvisai is the opponent and he's not the champion. The odds might be in favor of
I'm checking
Rodriguez.
right now. I'm checking
But
right
I
now.
know Rungvisai. I mean, Rungvisai's resume and his pedigree, it really should be enough. I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen him fight in a while. I think the last time I don't remember the last time. I know he had two fights after the Estrada fight. And I think I only watched one of them. I can't remember what fight it was because he had a fight on the zone. I remember
Yeah,
watching on the undercard. I can't remember what fight who he fought though.
of course they don't have it on here.
Oh, seriously.
Yeah. Hold on.
Pretty sure wrong this time. I don't know. Maybe he might not be the underdog. I don't know.
I don't know. Because I know, I mean, Akhmed Delayev is a pretty heavy favorite. Um, yeah,
I'm
it's not
surprised he's
on here.
heavy. I'm surprised he's a heavy favorite. Rios is a good fighter.
Yeah, yeah, Akhmed Delayev is you got to put up $650 to win 100. Ronnie Rios is a plus 420. I might be
Whoa.
throwing a couple. I might throw a couple dollars on Ronnie Rios.
Am I
That nigga,
correct in I could be wrong, so someone forgive me for this misapprehension. But am I correct in saying Rios fought Navarrete?
who? Ronnie Rios?
Yeah.
I want to say no, but I'm gonna check right now though. I want
He's
to
got
say
three
no.
losses on his career. He got
Yeah,
three losses on his career.
and you
How?
said Navarrete.
Who's one of his losses? Carlos, I
Um,
know I watched his last two fights.
Ray Vargas.
Okay, that's who it was. Ray Vargas, not Navarrete.
Yeah,
Similar styles, that's what confused me. So I
yeah,
knew he lost
Robertson
to a Mexican.
Castellanos. Yeah.
Yeah, Ray Vargas. Ray Vargas fighting Mexeo as well. Ray Vargas
Yes.
fighting Mexeo.
What's that? July 9th? I think it's July 9th.
I don't know when it was, but Ray Vargas was supposed to fight Gary Russell
That's a
Jr.
good. That's a
That
good
fight
fight.
was supposed to
That
happen
fight was
years ago.
never gonna happen. That fight was never gonna happen. Period. That fight was never gonna happen.
You think? Yeah, I think Ray Vargas beats Maxeo as
Yeah,
well.
he said this is a YSM. He said this is a fire card from Eddie.
Oh
Uh,
yeah. No.
yeah, this is a dope ass card. Like
Most of
dope
these
ass
cards
card.
from Eddie Hearn, without a great main event, has real good stuff on the
Yeah,
undercard.
yeah.
Like without a known main event. I mean,
Yo,
when
if
it's a
it's
known
a
main event,
known main event, then undercard gonna be trash truck juice. But if it's not a main like a crazy main event with crazy names on it, usually Eddie Hearn delivers. I give
I
him that.
remember
He
when
usually delivers.
I remember when Andrade fought. Who did he fight? That that unknown dude. He had Bivol versus Joe Smith on the undercard, and I think he had Michael Hunter versus Kuzman on the undercard. If I'm correct, I could be wrong, but he has some good undercards when he's in America. Like,
Yeah,
and the main event is
that card was fire. Like that card was fire. That Joe Smith card.
yeah, and he had another one earlier this year which was good as well. A
He
Mexican
had
card,
yeah,
and obviously the
he had Hooker. He had Hooker and Mikel Lespier on that card. He had
oh yeah.
Callum Johnson and Sean Monahan on that card. Who else? Who else? Sergey Kuzman and
That's what I said.
Dweko.
I said
He had
I
that
said
card.
Sergey.
Yeah,
I said Sergey Kuzman was on that card. Yeah, I remember
yeah,
Sergey Kuzman was on that
yeah.
card. That was a good.
That was a good card. That was a good
Kuzman had a
card,
fight
yo.
the other day as well, at heavyweight. He won a fight in Russia the other day. I wonder if he got paid.
Yeah. Good question, yo. Good
I wonder
question.
if he got paid.
Good question. Two back-to-back cards in San Antonio this week and next. Yeah, it's a
Who's fighting
lot
next
of
week?
we got I know we got a Philly I know we got a Philly card this week, this Friday.
I mean
That's a
next
pretty
week.
good
Next week.
card.
Who's fighting next
Next
week?
week is actually let me pull it up. Next week would be, let me see, that'll be what, the 30, no, hold on. Yeah, that's the McSayal and Vargas card. Yeah, that's that card. Yeah. And
Who's on the undercard? Hoping it's
uh
a good one.
of that one, that is they haven't really announced it really. Who's on
Actually,
that card? Who's on the
I'm hoping they
undercard?
got a good undercard. I'm hoping they got at least one good fight. Like
I think they will. Um, I ain't gonna lie, I think they will. But big shout out to my guy Cruz Hitman Stewart. He fighting this Friday as
they
well.
said Rashidi Ellis is on the undercard.
Rashidi Ellis is on the, yeah, Rashidi Ellis is on the undercard. Actually, it's just not on I was
Boxer.
looking at it on BoxRec. Yeah, they a little slow to the party. But yeah, my guy Cruz fighting this Friday in
He told
Florida.
you, yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, fighting Hakeem Lopez, 12-0. Fight is 68 though. I prefer Cruz at 60,
60.
but they got him at
I mean, you gotta get
68.
opportunities when you can get. I mean, that's gonna be a crazy
Absolutely.
fight.
Yeah, that's gonna be a
60
crazy
is
fight.
good.
Yeah.
Is Brandon Figueroa on the undercard as well? That he can't be on the undercard, bro. He cannot be on the undercard. What kind of undercard is that? That is an expensive undercard. That is not PVC. That must be the zone or something. There's no way they're throwing out that much money on the undercard.
Shit. Kinahan might have his hands in that, John, if it's for sure. You know what? I do remember. Yeah, I do remember seeing his name. To be honest with you,
I
ain't
was
gonna
gonna say,
lie.
when I was thinking about undercard names, I was gonna say I would throw Brandon Figueroa on that undercard, but then I was gonna say, nah, bro, Brandon Figueroa is probably a little bit too much out of the price range. It depends on who his opponent is, though. They might just be giving him a tune-up. I can't see him.
Yeah, I'm actually curious about that Rashidi Ellis fight. To
I
be
mean, I
honest
can't.
with you,
I mean, I can't. I mean,
curious.
who's at 122 that he could possibly fight? I mean,
Who?
maybe Brandon Figueroa. Maybe Almeida. They can probably bring in Almeida. I know Almeida fought out Angelo Leo, so they probably can bring in someone like an Almeida. Luis
Yeah,
Neri just beat Carlos Castro, so I can't see Carlos Castro coming back in.
yeah.
Um,
I don't know what, like,
Rais Alim's got a fight coming up
he got a
already.
fight coming up. Actually, he got a tough fight. He got a fight. He got a tough fight. Who my man fight? That's my guy too. Um, he's fighting. Damn.
I mean,
Mike
that'd be a
Plania.
good.
He fight Mike Plania. That's a
Oh
good
yeah, yeah,
fight.
you told me,
Yeah,
you
that's a
told
good
me.
fight. That's a good
I'll
fight.
be surprised if Brandon. You know, it'll be a good fight. Versus Brandon Figueroa versus Angelo Leo. That'd be a good fight.
That's a good fight. Is Cruz fighting on Pro Box? Yes. Yeah, he's fighting on Pro Box. Um, and kind of pissed off at Cruz because he ain't. I know he in camp and all that, but you know, you gotta holler at your boy when your boy reach out to you, man. Like, but that's a good fight, man. 8-0, 8-0 versus 12-0, man. Like that's just, actually the card is solid. Like the card is solid, man. Like so, there's just a lot of good action going on. But I'm kind of curious to see what Cruz does because Cruz ain't been in the ring in a while,
Yeah.
and he's been fighting
Yeah.
at 60, and that's a big jump from 60 to 68. And Hakeem, so YSM, just to give you a little more context, like um Hakeem Lopez, he usually fights at 75, and he's coming down to 68. So, and Cruz usually fights at 60, but he's fought as high as like the 180s in the amateur. So he's not used to the big weight, but he's just a lot better at 160.
Like
And
I've always wondered. You know, weight classes go up gradually. So you got 122, then 126, that's 4 pounds. Then 126 to 130, that's 4 pounds. Then 130 to 135,
35.
5 pounds. Then
Mm-hmm.
35 to 40, that's 5 pounds again. Then
Right.
40 to 47, that's 7 pounds. Then 47 to 54, that's 7 pounds. Then
Yeah.
54 to
60.
60, that's six
Yeah.
pounds. You see, it's around the same level. Then 60,
It's
68.
68.
I
Yeah, that's
don't
a
understand
lot.
why it jumped so heavy.
That's
Like
a
it's been
big,
around that 5, 6, 7 mark with a
yeah.
bang, and then it goes back down to 7 again.
Yeah, like it's yeah, and YSM he said, "Oh shit, I don't like this fight." And the thing about it, bro, is Hakeem Lopez is not like he's not a stranger because he fought Tree in the amateurs, so they're
What,
very familiar with
what's his knockout ratio?
who Hakeem Lopez.
Yeah.
I can get it for you. Hold on.
I am spent right now. I need to sleep.
No, we about to get about this joint. I'm gonna look this up real quick. Um,
But Tree said the fight's at middleweight.
Tree. Now Tree texted me earlier and said it was a super middle.
Maybe he's corrected himself.
Or he might be running up and down them steps out there in the hot ass sun like he was yesterday. No, it's a super middle, bro. BoxRec got it as super
No,
middle.
you said yeah, super.
Yeah, he said, yeah. See, I told you he was running out in the hot ass sun, man. Big shout out to my guy Tree, man. Starting shit as soon as he come in the goddamn show, man. Big shout out to him, man.
But yeah,
Uh,
what did you say?
oh, the
Knockout ratio.
12-0, 8 knockouts. And Cruz is 8-0 with 7 knockouts.
Nah, Cruz got power. I know that. I was just
Cruz
wondering.
Cruz got Cruz got that smoke. Cruz got that smoke. But the thing is though, they're promoting Hakeem like he's the house fighter.
Supposed to. That's
Yeah,
good.
they're promoting him like he's the house
But
fighter.
that's
So
crazy
Cruz,
though. That's
yeah.
crazy because if Cruz can get a knockout in this fight, who's to know?
Oh, bro, if he gets a knockout in this fight against Hakeem Lopez, this puts him right in the mix. This puts him right to be the winner of this fight should be in the mix. At either 60 or 68 because
I
neither
mean,
one of the divisions is really
strong.
smoking hot right now. Like, and even my guy Chino's supposed to be fighting July 23rd on the top rank card. And we interviewed him like after his first fight, like before his first fight of his career. So to see him, his last fight was on the PBC card. You know what I'm saying? And now he's jumping on the top rank card, man. So it's, and he's fighting around that 160 area, man. So you got some young pups out there got some young pups out there. Tree said tough fight for both. Cruz been inactive for a minute though. That's my problem. That's my
Facts.
problem. He been inactive for a while and he going up in weight. That's usually a recipe for disaster. That's usually a recipe for disaster. And against a guy that like he knows Cruz. Like he knows Cruz. So it's not like he's gonna come in and just, you know, not know what Cruz is trying to do. But yeah, inactivity and up in weight usually don't add up to success. But I'm hoping
All
Cruz
right,
proves
good.
me wrong. But we're gonna shut this thing down, man. 2 hours, 5 minutes strong, man, with my guy VP, man. Give him the social media so we can get up out of here, good brother.
I underscore I'm Shane the number one.
Yep, you can follow me all over the place, man. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, G5 Jeff TV, man. Website, G5JeffTV.com. We're gonna be loading up with Lucas Brown. We're gonna drop that thing on Friday. And you know, hold on, Bertwood,
Yeah, yeah,
Shane,
yeah.
Shane
Yeah,
Van
you
B. Carlos
yeah, yeah.
Codges, yeah.
Thank you. 5 minutes too late, but yeah.
We appreciate it, bro. But listen, on behalf of VP Shane, man, Boxing First Vlog, and your boy G5 Jet TV, man, we out. We'll see y'all tomorrow.